Overall, Arsenal had an XG of 2.05. But if you look closely to those numbers and you look at the first half, you will see that they had an XG of 0.59. And in the second half, that XG went up to 1.46. If you ask yourself what happened in the second half, someone will say, oh, it's because it was the second half silly, so Arsenal were naturally attacking more because they wanted a goal. Except that even in the first half, Arsenal were looking for a goal, but they were also in a situation whereby they couldn't give it their all and send everyone forward because Newcastle United had a threat up front. But then Eddie Howe decided, you know what? I think I'm taking too high of a risk playing like this against the mighty Gunners. That's what he thought. So then he changed his system and he played a back five. You know who else played a back five just a week ago against Arsenal? Yes, the one and only Pep Guardiola, who then found out in a harsh manner what happens if you just abandon your principles and start defending. He drew a match which he could have won if he had stayed in an offensive manner. Savinho came on later on in the game last week, and this week you have Barnes coming on in the last 5 minutes of the game because Newcastle were now panicking and chasing the game. The point being, Eddie Howe is not known for being a super defensive coach, but he plays attractive football and he's been spanking Arsenal at St. James's Park. So why did he decide that this week, this is the week that is just going to be a coward and be scared of Mikel Arteta, who by the way, while chasing a game, and on top of that, Mikel Arteta was chasing a game, and he had players like on the bench, he had Christian Nogard, okay, he's a midfielder, but he also had Max Dauman, right, on the bench. But who did he bring on? He brought on, number one, the last player he brought on was Miles Lewis-Skelly, a defender. While they were trying to find a goal, they have a dribbler on the bench. So even Arteta is not like he was going all out and trying to score. This is on the 88th minute. He takes off Trossard. Instead of bringing in another winger, he just brings in a fullback. So this just tells you about the mentality of the coach that Arteta is. He's cautious because even when they scored that goal to be 1-1, they were celebrating, like trying to go to a corner, and then Declan Rice is like, no, man, we still need to score another goal so that we can close the gap up there on the log table. So for Eddie Howe to then also succumb to this and decide that, you know what, I'm going to change my system, because, you know, you could take off Elanga, right? You could take off Jacob Murphy, bring on Elanga. They're still an attacking threat, right? Barnes should have come on much earlier, but he shouldn't have come on. Who's this? He brought on Trippier earlier on, and then took Livramento to the left-hand side to play left wing back. But there was no need because Arsenal were threatening, but they were not close to scoring. And if you're saying that you are now going to bring in Trippier and have Livramento play as a left wing back and have 5 defenders, what you're actually doing, you're just inviting pressure. And if you're inviting pressure, you're going to end up conceding a lot of corners. And if you're playing against a team like Arsenal, I don't think you should be retreating towards your own goal, because what that does, it gets you exactly where they want you to be, and then they can keep on just crossing the ball. Why are Arsenal buying all these tall players? Look at Abo Merino. Look at the likes of the new players that have come in. I think the only short player who has come into Arsenal is Zubimendi. But most of the signings that they're making are tall players, because now they want to be physical, but they also benefit and target scoring goals using set pieces. Lo and behold, that's exactly how they won this game. There was nothing that was clear that, Arsenal are looking attractive, or Arsenal are raping Newcastle United up. But no, there was nothing like that. It was just poor decision making by the coach. And the system became worse because then Livramento gets injured, which meant Lascelles had to come in, but Lascelles coming in at the time of the match Yes, he's a leader. Yes, he's a club captain. But you don't have an attacking threat, which means now Arsenal can push up even further because they know there's no one who can hurt them going the other side. But what did you guys think of this game? Let me know down on the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel for more match reactions such as this one.